What's going on, everybody? John here with WikiGameGuides, and I wanted to make a video kind of explaining how a lot of the skills work and give you some suggestions for what skills I would recommend using in Watch Dogs and where to spend your first points. So the skill system in Watch Dogs, I've completed the game at this point, and it's a fun system, and you can't misspend points in that when you hit level 50, you will have enough skill points to unlock every single skill, but you can spend the skill points more effectively early on to make the game at the beginning a little bit easier, a little bit more fun, and not as frustrating. There are four main categories: hacking, combat, which involves also just mainly shooting, crafted items. Crafted items are quite a bit more helpful in Watch Dogs than they are in recent Assassin's Creed games, so do not ignore this category. And driving. These, like every tier of skills has different costs for how many skill points it costs to upgrade. So the top tier ones are very helpful, but aren't necessarily always worth getting. So after completing, I think, the second mission in the game, and they teach you how to use the skill point system, they give you 5 points right away. And what I would recommend spending those initial 5 points on are, first, this car unlock ability. This costs 1 skill point, and this will just save you a lot of headaches. What this does is it disables vehicle alarms and unlocks doors, so you're not breaking windows and getting attention and having the cops constantly called on you, and just basically wasting your time. I would also get this ATM hack boost upgrade for your first thing. Now this costs 3 points, but it increases the amount of money gained when hacking bank accounts. And getting a lot of early money in the game, money is spent on cars through the car delivery system, weapons at the gun shops, and then others like gambling and outfits and stuff like that. But cars and guns are the two main things that you spend money on. And money is not super easy to come by, and you can get through the game without buying a single thing, but spending a little bit of money on some good guns and some good cars early on will make the game a lot more enjoyable. And then for your 5th point, I would put it into traffic lights. Or is that what I wanted to do? Yes, traffic lights. Oops. Traffic lights is an incredibly helpful skill, and it opens up a lot of other hacking options that are very helpful throughout the game. And this only costs 1 point, so it's definitely worth getting on that first batch of 5 points that you get. So now I'm going to go through all of the skills and kind of talk about whether I think they're worth it or not. So obviously car unlock is very good. Defensive driver is also very helpful. I don't remember the cost of it. Reduces damage taken from collisions. So basically your car lasts longer. Precision driver. I would not recommend spending points on this. Tires have a lower chance of blowout. So basically cops and enemies can shoot out your tires, and it's not hard to switch cars or to just jump out of a car that has blown out tires. So this was kind of wasted points. Escape artist improves the stealth capabilities of hide in car, effective when evading choppers. The hide in car ability is pretty effective as it is without that upgrade, so I would not bother putting extra points in it. So when you're driving around, pretend I'm trying to escape from a cop right now, if you're not moving, you can just hit B. It shuts down the car and it turns off all the lights, and you can basically just hide in your car. So it's not, I wouldn't put extra points into this, making it more effective, because it's very effective as it is. The off-road driver ability, you don't spend a ton of time driving off-road. It's not like GTA 5. The map isn't like GTA 5. Where like the top half of the map is just dirt roads, and there's not a ton of opportunities to take shortcuts or do crazy off-road jumps like there are in GTA 5 or any other GTA game. So this isn't really worth it. But this offensive driver skill, I would imagine, is absolutely worth it. Now, this doesn't. This costs not points, but you have to complete 5 fixer contracts, which is like a side quest, and I haven't done that yet. So there are quite a few missions where you have to chase down and stop enemies in their car, and having the ability to do it a lot of damage with your car is very helpful. So if you want to get this one early, I bet this one would be very helpful. But on my first playthrough of the game, I stuck to basically only main story missions, and I was planning on doing all the side quests after completing the main story, so I haven't unlocked this one yet. The hacking category. Hacker's Toolkit. You get this one by default. Basically, hacking is when you you do an enormous amount of hacking in this game. So when you're just walking around and you hit the X button, it lets you see the environment a little bit better, and you can hack other people's cell phones. Let's see, I just got $1,700 off of that dude's account. You can hack cameras, and you can do things like, I know there were spike strips around here somewhere. You can jump to other cameras. Here we go. I thought there were spike strips over there. I stopped here for precisely the reason that I thought there were spike strips over there. Anyway, so hacking is basically when you just kind of jump around. Here we go, spikes. So that's considered a hack right there. So let's take a look at the hacks some more. And there's a lot of opportunity for hacking in this game. So I'll start on this left branch. The ATM hack boost, I suggested getting that one early. The profiler optimization, it automatically highlights civilians with high value rewards. So as you're walking around the environment, every citizen, so without that profiler boost, every single citizen that you see is gonna just have that white square around them, and you have to kinda give the game a second to kind of analyze them. But because I have that profiler boost, this guy instantly goes to blue, and blue means it's high profile and I can get something good from him. So you're going to spend a lot of time. Let's see if I can actually hack somebody that doesn't have valuable stuff. So there's a lot of cell phones you can hack where you're just basically eavesdropping on someone's conversation, and it just makes it go faster. Hacking victim by another fixer. I don't even know what this is. Anyway, so that just speeds up the process. So if you're trying to get a lot of money, this one, or trying to get all the collectibles and stuff like that, this one is very helpful to have. It's not going to make completing missions easier, but it is very nice to have. And this top tier one further increases the amount of money gained when hacking bank accounts and ATMs. So basically, if you're just trying to buy all the items, that one's helpful. This other tier of the Hacker's Toolkit, or other fork of the Hacker's Toolkit, is just extra batteries. Batteries are, charges of a battery are spent when hacking environmental objects. So hacking someone's cell phone, for example, does not cost a battery. So you can see right there, there's no battery cost for hacking this guy. Jumping to a camera does not cost any battery. But when you are in combat, or like for example, these spikes right here, hacking those costs a battery, and you can see my battery just dropped right there. So if you're in combat and you're hacking people like really quickly, or you're trying to escape and you're hacking like stoplights and barriers and bridges and like one thing after another, it's nice to have extra batteries, but they recharge fairly quickly, and I would not recommend putting more than just 1 point, I would not recommend getting more than just one extra battery slot, just because you never are completely desperate for battery charge. It's nice to have one extra, but you definitely don't need 6 battery slots. Okay, so this, come on, go to it. There we go. Utilities. Building utilities. I think you get this one by default. I could be wrong. This one's helpful though, because as you can see in that video in the bottom left, there's like small steam pipes and explosions and lots of small things and like cranes and weird things that you can lift to kind of manipulate the environment and make it a little bit easier to get around. Or to take out enemies. I think you get that one by default. If not, get this one early. Disrupt enemy comms. This one is very helpful. So what this does is when you're in combat and you, frequently you'll find enemies that, whose helmets you can hack, and it basically distracts them, leaving them very vulnerable to getting meleeed by you and being able to take them down without firing bullets at them. So disrupt enemy comms is very helpful. And disable reinforcement calls. I would only get this one if you're having troubles or if you're having issues with lots of reinforcements getting called and you're like, I mean, if you're struggling staying stealth. It's a very expensive because, as you can see, it costs 5 skill points. So it's not just a gimme one, but like it'll kind of stun an enemy and prevent them from calling for backup. L train control. You can use this to stop an L train or move an L train as a getaway vehicle. I have not used this once. Majority of the time, I like just getting in a car and then driving away. I've never used the L train. Maybe I just didn't think of it when I had a good opportunity to use it, but I would not get this one. Same thing with transformers. I had this one early on in the game, and I honestly don't know if I ever used it or ever even saw an opportunity to use it. The video thumbnail that they have makes it look like it's super devastating, but I don't think I ever used it once. Traffic lights. This whole branch right here is supposed to be skills that you use to take out cars, but also has some helicopter stuff. Gates and garages. This is also a great one to get early game because you can use it to like close a gate behind you or as you're driving through it, or open a gate as you're speeding towards it and kind of create new opportunities for yourself to get away. Very helpful one. The bridges is also insanely helpful. Get this one early. This should be like the first thing you get after those initial 5 points, or the first thing you go for. Bridges are insanely fun to use too, because using the bridges never completely shuts off a bridge for you. You can still jump over a bridge, but it stops the enemies from chasing you. So it's basically the perfect getaway tool. I use bridges probably more as a getaway tool than any other hacking ability. Steam pipes. These are tough. These are very tough to use. And I don't know why it's not unlocked. It must have glitched out or something. Anyway, any ability that you have to see in front of you and then take out behind, so what happens is you'll be driving around the streets and you'll see an opportunity of like a steam pipe or the road spikes or the ballasts or something like that in front of you. And it's very difficult when you're moving quickly to hit that at the exact right. Oh, so like things like blockers are very difficult to use as a getaway thing. Just because of the timing of it, it's very challenging. And the same thing with steam pipes and the spikes. So you can get them, but they're not nearly as effective as the bridge. So steam pipes, blockers, and road spikes, all iffy. I damaged myself more with road spikes than I ever did enemies. So even when I see road spikes available on the ground, I never use them. So let's see. Okay, disable helicopter. This is an interesting one. So I believe helicopters can only be flown by police officers in the game. And the only reason you wouldn't just shoot down a police helicopter. So what this does is it turns off the helicopter's lights so that they lose you if you're trying to run away from a helicopter. And then let's take a look at this. Okay, so if you see the reputation meter in the top right, if you kill cops, the meter goes to the left and civilians are less helpful. But if you kill but the helicopters are so insanely easy to just take out, I wouldn't waste points. One of the first weapons you buy in the game is this little single shot grenade launcher. There's a mission in the first act that forces you to buy this awesome grenade launcher. And you can kill basically any helicopter with 1 or 2 shots of the grenade launcher. So it's nice to have the helicopter disable stuff, but it's easier just to kill them. And by killing cops and reducing your reputation, it's very easy to earn back that reputation by doing side quests, by stopping random criminals and stuff like that. So it's just much easier just to kill helicopters. All right, let's take a look at the combat. Focus. Focus is a very helpful skill if you remember to use it. I have not remembered to use it enough. Get this one also very early on and just get in the habit of using it. You can use it while you're driving, but it's very tough to use. And I never found the combat so insanely difficult that I needed to be using focus a lot. It was only when I wanted to use a sniper rifle and snipe someone from far away, because the sniper rifles have quite a bit of sway on them. So if I was in a sniper versus sniper duel, that was the only time I ever really used focused. And then there's this right branch of the focus, or right fork of the focus branch, has other focus upgrades. And those only get them if you really like using focus. I didn't find focus that helpful. The stealth sprint ability, though, is an excellent skill. I would highly recommend getting this one, because in this game, you don't have to play stealth, but it is very beneficial to use stealth in a lot of situations, or just like running up to enemies without, or in taking them out with a melee as opposed to shooting them. It's very helpful to have this. Critical focus costs 5 skill points, so I haven't got it yet, and because I didn't use focus very much, it'll probably be like one of the last things that I get. This middle tree, quick switch, sort of helpful just for switching between like a pistol and a shotgun and then a sniper rifle, but it's not that helpful, and I wouldn't even put points into it. And then all these other upgrades are for specific weapons. The only one that I would potentially think about getting is this sniper rifle expert scope steadiness, but because there's so many things before it, it would just cost an enormous amount of points just to get to that. Shotgun damage against vehicles, not that helpful, especially if you just put some points into IEDs and the crafting. You can destroy vehicles very quickly with a grenade or an IED. And burst precision with all automatic weapons. There's only a few burst automatic weapons, and the best automatic weapons are fully auto, not burst, so that seems like a dumb one. Steady aim, very good one to get. It's just an all-around decreases weapon recoil for every single gun. Great one to get, along with bullet resistance and blast resistance. Not that helpful because not a lot of enemies use explosives. I don't think there's a single enemy that uses a grenade launcher. There are enemies that throw grenades, but they're very easy to avoid. They're bright and they beep and they flash red, and it's very easy to move away from grenades. So I don't think I got killed once by a grenade. And rapid reload, yeah, maybe. But again, because it's so deep in that, it's probably pretty expensive. Demolitionist, if you really like using crafting stuff and buying crafted weapons, grenades and IEDs, then yeah, go down this. But this one, take down enforcers in combat, I'm not even 100% sure how this one works, because you can take down enforcers from behind. You just can't take them down if they know where you are. So as long as you're stealth and you sneak up behind an enforcer, you don't even need this. So whatever. And finally, crafted items. Let's show these off. Lure you get very early in the game. I used it in the tutorial, and I think that was the only time I ever used it, because there's plenty of other hacking opportunities to lure enemies. Focus boost, not that helpful because I didn't use focus too often. Jam comms. This one is very nice. So what this does is, oh shoot, oh I got a second. Oh, let's see if I can pull this off. Okay, come on, focus. Why am I not focusing? There we go. Oh, dang it. So I had an opportunity. CTO scan, where is jam comms? Oh, dang it. Okay, so that guy right there was calling a police officer. And if I had equipped this, the jam comms, and then used it, I would have blocked that cell phone call. And I never would have gotten in trouble for destroying those vehicles. So that is a great one to have a couple of equipped. Blackout is nice if you're getting chased by a lot of cops. Other than that, it's not too helpful. And CTOS scan, It's pretty nice as well. It basically just saves you a little bit of time. So if you don't have CTOS scan, what you're going to do when you go into a combat situation or you're taking out a large group of enemies is you're going to try to, you're going to use the cameras to kind of scan the area and figure out where all the enemies are. With the CTOS scan, you just pop this and it instantly identifies everybody on your map for you. So it saves you a little bit of time, which is handy. Frag grenades and IEDs are amazingly helpful when taking out enemies that are arriving in a car or driving away in a car. Proximity IEDs, not that helpful because there are very few situations in the game where you are ambushing people. But IEDs, and I'll show you how they work. Let's equip an IED. Okay, so I got the IED equipped, and uh-oh. Oh, so disrupt the helicopter, as you can see, it just kind of pisses it off for a second. The IED, let's kill some cops here. So you just kind of throw it at the cop car, and then you hack it, and it destroys the car instantly. Very helpful, and relatively cheap to craft as well. I wonder if I can hit this helicopter. Nope, I can't throw that high enough. There are snipers on the helicopter, so I'm going to try to take this sucker out. Oh man, why am I not hitting him? Come on, there we go. Let's see here. What other stuff do I have? Let's use blackout. So, now you can see that bar on the top is counting down how much time I have left in blackout. And I believe that prevents police communication, and it also shuts down all their headlights and stuff. So if I can steal a decent car, I should be able to get away here. Now, unfortunately, you can't use any of your guns. Oh, bridge? Oh, I can't hack that. Okay, so blackout also kind of hurts you as well. I tried to hack that bridge so that the cops couldn't chase me, but oh, let's see, traffic lights. So sometimes the traffic lights are very difficult to use. I just always hit them as I'm going by. Sometimes they'll have these nice little pop-ups that, whoops, and I just killed a civilian, so that also reduced my reputation. And it'll like flash bright blue, and it's like, oh, you got about a half a second opportunity. Oh, so you hit the blocker. Yeah, timing those blockers is very difficult, but I kind of worked that one there. And the shitty thing about the helicopter as well is that I've never hacked a helicopter from within a car. You just cannot get the right camera angle to see the helicopter to pull it off. So I'm gonna try to use the train tracks. Oh, okay, so you just saw that there. It just said neutralize. You may have to rewind that and see what I did there. But it said neutralize and it was flashing, and then that activated the, I'm not even sure what it was. Whoa! Oh my god! Apparently cars bounce in this game. That was cool. That was an insane jump. I'm so glad I got that on camera. Cool, well anyway, so that showed off a couple of, so that was all the skills, and I showed off quite a few of them. Anyway, so that's what I would recommend spending your skill points on. If you have any suggestions, just post them in the comments, and thanks for watching. Game on.